Hello friends, welcome to Help Me Coder, the channel which talks about technology and helps the coder community out there. And in today's video, we are going to discuss about 15 different tips and tricks, things that you can do with SharePoint Document Library. To just quickly give you a glance of our agenda, so these are the 15 points that we are going to discuss today. But if you want to directly go to a particular point or jump to a particular section, then in the description section there is a timeline that I have played out. You can just click on that particular time to reach out to that particular topic, but I would happily appreciate if you can go in this serial order, because this will give you a better understanding of what this document library is all about. So let us first understand what is SharePoint Document Library. A SharePoint Document Library basically helps you to securely store your documents, and it allows you to basically share those files with your co-workers who can then basically collaborate on those documents. Now these files are organized nicely so that they are easy to find in a later point of time. So basically, as my definition says here, a document library helps you to organize and collaborate documents securely. So let's start with the thing number one. How do you create, how do you edit, how do you modify, how do you delete a document library? This is a new team site. So whether you create a team site or communication site, by default you will get a out of the box document library created for you. So this is out of the box document library. On the left hand side you will see that and this is how it looks over here. If you want to create your own new document library, how do you go about creating that? So there is a plus new icon, there is a drop down over here where you can go and create a document library. So if you don't see this new icon, basically you find this new icon in the modern team site or modern communication site. You can either go to this gear icon on the right hand side, site content. So when you go into the site content, so these are all the document libraries that are created. So this is out of the box document library. Others are also the document libraries, but they are for different purpose. If you want to create a new document library, you can again click on this new drop down. You will find this drop down over here as well. Go and click on the new document library. Here you will see that there will be an overlay window that comes up on the right hand side. In this overlay window you can provide the name of the document library. I will give the name as expense document library name. So I will click on this icon checkbox which is showing the site navigation, which is this left hand side that you see, and I will click on create. So once I click on create, you will see that the expense word comes over here. So this is the document library that got just created for you. Here you can create a new folder, or you can create a new document based on these templates that you have. So you can create a Word, Excel or PowerPoint or OneNote. So you can create a new document like that, or you can even upload a document. So upload, you have multiple ways of doing it. So if you have a document that is there on your system, you can click on files and you can upload the document from here. So I will just click on this document and I will say open. So here this document will get uploaded, and the other way would be to just drag and drop. So over here I have these documents under this folder. So what I can do is I can just directly drop the documents over here like this. So that's simple. So it is pretty convenient to use the drag and drop feature. But yeah, you can also use this upload option over here. If you want to create a new folder, you can create a new folder by just going to the again this drop down, the new drop down, and you can provide the folder name expense 2021 and I will say create. So this will create the expense folder over here. So this is how simple it is to create the folder. Now when I talk about how do you go about deleting a particular file, you can just select one single file, or you can select multiple files so as to delete them together. So once you select a single item, or if you select multiple items, you will see that this menu on the top gets changed. So if you select multiple items, if you see, you get this delete option. But if you select one single item, you don't get this delete option directly, but there is these three dots. You can click on them to have it delete from here, or even you can click on the three dots over here to get them deleted with this delete button over here. So let me try to delete this folder that I have just created. So once you click on delete, the folder gets deleted. So that simple it is. So I have created this folder back again, and one thing that I want to tell you, that if this folder has n number of files within it, so if, for example, if I upload a couple of files into this. Now if I go back to my expense document, this document library, and I delete this folder, and then all the files within this the folder will get deleted. So you need to be cautious about that when you are going to delete a particular folder, everything within it will get deleted eventually. So you see it says, are you sure want to send the item to recycle bin, and you say delete, then yes, your all the files with this folder will get deleted. So that's how you create a document library, how do you add files into this document library, and how do you delete them. So the next thing that we are going to discuss is how do you share files or folders in SharePoint document library. Normally in SharePoint, if you want to share something, you use the SharePoint permissions. By default, any document library that you create or anything that you create or any new file that you add, it inherits permissions from its parent. If you want to give a specific different permission to that particular file or folder, you have to stop inheriting and then provide the permission. And I have created a separate video for which I have provided a link in the description section below, and I will tag it on the top of this video so you can go and watch that. But while you are watching this video, the main topic over here is to how do you share a specific file or folder quickly to someone if there is a need. Maybe that person doesn't have permission on the top level site or on the document library top level, but this person, you want to just share that file to him without going into all the SharePoint permission settings. So to do this sharing, you can go and click on this share option over here, which is next to the files or folder. When you click on this share option, you will have to first choose to whom you are going to share this file or folder to. So there are different options to choose from here. So if you click on this top option over here, you will see that you can choose to share it with anyone with the link. How do you generate the link? I will tell you later, but this one, if the first option is enabled, anyone with the link can access this file. Right now it is disabled because you have to enable it at the tenant level, which we have not enabled it right now. So the next option is the people in Joshi 007 with this link, means that people who are part of this organization, you can just share them with this link. The third one is people with existing access. So maybe that particular person has already got the access, but you just want to share the link with him, or you want to do with a specific person. So let me choose a specific person for now. So there, when you choose a particular item, you will see that different permission options will change based on that. So if you choose the first one, you will see there are other settings coming up, but with people with existing access, you will not see those other settings because it will be based on what existing access they have. So it will depend upon that. Now, if you want to do it with a specific person, then yes, you can choose that. And then there are other options to choose from here. The first thing that you can choose whether you want to allow him to edit this particular file or you just want to allow him read that file. You will also see that when you choose a particular option, there will be sub options that will get opened up. Like if I do allow him to do edit over here, you will see that this block download will be disabled by default, which means that when I'm allowing him to edit, he can download. I can't stop him from downloading it. So if I allow him editing, yes, what I can do next level of permission restriction is that I can allow him only open in the review mode. He can edit the document, he can see it, he can download it, but he can only edit it in review mode, means he can provide the comments or he can provide the changes that he wants to make to the document, but he can't directly change those things. And if you want to just allow him read the file, then you can even block the file from getting downloaded onto his systems. For example, if I click on edit and I click on apply on this option, specific people, then I can provide the name of the person over here. Like I will say I want to give this access to Vivek, somebody Vivek in my organization, so he doesn't have access to this particular list, and I will say just give him the access to this particular person and he can edit. So he can edit right now. I can change it from here as well. And then you can say send. The email can be sent to him. You can provide a message also, or you can copy this link and then send it separately to him on another email. That also you can do. So let me say send from here. So now this email has been sent to him. The other thing that you want to see is that once you provide a permission, later you can change it or remove the person from this file. How do you do that? Click again on this share option. You see the three dots on the top right side of your this pop-up overlay window. Click on that, click on manage access. manage access, you will see that there is this box that this is the link that you generated. You can copy this link and you can share it with a number of people. But right now if you see that there is a arrow mark below that shows to whom this document has been shared. So this link right now works only for Vivek Agarwal. So you have shared only to this particular person, so nobody else can use that link. So if I want to delete it, yes, I can go and remove this person from here, and I can even remove this link. I can say I don't want this link, I can delete this link, then that's all. So everything has been removed now. So that's how easy it is to provide permissions. So the next point is, how do you keep track of changes that are made on your files or folders or document library? So by default, SharePoint does keep track of these changes, and you can view these changes for an individual file or folder or to the whole document library as such. Now to see that, you can need to click on this eye icon at the right hand side. So when you are not selected any file over here, any file, then basically it will show you the details about the whole document library. So basically, if you see on what are the activities that have happened during this week, and when did you created this document library, so what are the different changes that you made to the whole document library as such, these things will be detailed. But when you click on a particular file, then the view will be a little different, in the sense that it will detail not only when it was created or when it was modified, but it will also show you a preview of that particular file that is inside that whichever file you are watching or seeing. Then who have access to this particular file, then what was the activities regarding this file, when was it modified, what is the type of this file, and what is the size of this file. One important point though is that when you select this informative view, you can also update properties of this particular document library. So if you see that it shows you all the columns, so here you can directly edit a particular value. So like I can say title, I can say test. So this is the title of this column, and I can update this column by just pressing enter key, and the title this will get saved. So this is the way you can edit the property. Now one very neat feature of this detail view is that that when you select multiple files and then you click on this eye icon to get the information, you can bulk edit the properties. Now bulk editing of properties only work in the case when you have a custom column. Right now we have not discussed about our custom columns, but the custom columns are the columns that you create manually. So let me just create a column just for the reference purpose, and I will just create as a number column. So let's say we want to have a column called total expense. The total expense custom column has been created. Now if you select multiple items over here, like I have selected 2 items, and if I go and click on this eye right now, you see that this custom column is getting shown over here, and I can just type in the number like 45 and I can save this value. So once I save this value, you will see that this 45 will be updated on both of these items. So next thing, collaboration and co-authoring. In SharePoint, the major reason why people love using SharePoint is because of this collaboration features. So one of the features that SharePoint offers is the co-authoring part, where basically multiple people can work on the same document or file together at the same time, and this is very helpful. So there are some file formats which are basically supported for co-authoring, and out of those file formats, like your MS Word, MS PowerPoint, which are like later versions of Office 2010, these applications are supported. Even Excel is supported. Excel Online is supported with the latest version of that. So those you can do the co-authoring, and how this co-authoring work, I can just show you a simple demo. So right now if you see that we have these 3 files, and if I basically click on this name and address doc, and if I open this particular file, and if I work over here on this file directly, so if you see right now I am working, my name is Hemant Joshi, so HJ is working over here, and this has been shared with Vivek Agarwal. So Vivek Agarwal is another person who is working on the same file at this time, so he is also on the page 1. So if I am typing right now, so like say I'm typing Hemant Joshi over here, and if Vivek also opens the file At the same time, let me show you, he has opened it already, and let me show you from his point of view how it will look like. So now to help you see how co-authoring works, I have opened the Vivek's account as well on a different browser. And if I open same file, like for example name and address, and in this name and address file, if you see, if the title field is wrongly entered by Hemant, it has to go into first name and surname. So what Vivek will help me is, he will just try to copy paste this thing into the right places. But as Vivek is doing this, you can see on the right hand side of the screen, the Hemant is able to see that Vivek is helping him to do the changes. So Hemant is very happy, and what he will do is, he will just select this and he will say, he will provide a new comment and he will say thanks. So once he says thanks, as Hemant is very happy, he says thanks, Vivek will straight away get that notification on his side, and he will say okay, thank you. So he will say okay from his side, and he will acknowledge the thanks. So that's how easy it is to do collaboration on a single piece of document working together. That's called co-authoring, and not only two people can do, you can have many people joining together working on the same document and doing co-authoring. Very nice feature to have. Metadatas in SharePoint column. Earlier I showed you how do you create a column, which is pretty simple. You just click over here and click on add column, and you can choose these different type of columns that you have. You can, if some of those columns doesn't suits you, then you can click on more option over here, which will take you to this create column page, and here you will have all the different kind of columns, like single line of text, multiple line of text, choice, number, currency, date and time. So, and all these columns have different kind of properties. So based on what column you choose, you will have different kind of properties over here. Like multiple line of text will have different set of column settings. So this brings us to an important point: when do you create columns, and what is this metadata all about? So whenever you add any data, like in document library, whenever you add any file or any new folder or any new item that you add over there, you basically can attach some more information to that particular file, which is called metadata in terms, which in turn is basically nothing but the column and that information that contains over there. For example, if I create a new column called date and time, and I can say action date, and once I create this column, so this gives you the option to do some filtering, do some sorting and other things based on these detail that you have provided over here. So definitely metadata helps a lot, and these columns does help a lot in basically grouping or sorting your data based on some value, and it also gives you more insight on that particular file that you are storing over here. In SharePoint list, basically we do lot of column creation, but in document library we are more accustomed to create folder creation, where we just create a folder and dump the file over there. But I would recommend that you start with this habit of adding this metadata as well to your document repository, because not only it will give you more information on that particular file, but in later point of time when you want to do some kind of sorting or filtering, that will definitely fetch you more information. So the next point to discuss is the view and the column ordering. So view is a very handy feature, because there are multiple people and many different type of people in an organization, and they might want to have a look into the data different ways. Actually, some people may not want all the data to be displayed. Like for example, your boss, he might want to see just the files. He's not interested in the total expenses or your action date. So he might want a different view of how it looks into things. Maybe if you have lot of columns here, then it will be difficult for him to visualize the whole data, or even if he wants the data, he wants in a different layout. So these all things can be done through the views. So now let's jump into how do you create a view. Basically on the right hand side of your screen, currently we are using all documents view. This is a default view that gets created when you create a new document library. When you click on this arrow over here, you will see that you can create a new view. I want to show it as a list format, which is this format which you are currently seeing. I will give the view name as directors view, so that I want to create this view just for the directors, and then maybe I don't want it to make it public, and then I will click on create. So once I click on create, This is the director's view. You see over here this name, director's view, and maybe I don't want to let him see these total expense and action date. So I will go over here, I will click on edit this current view. When I click on edit this current view, you will come to this page where you will see that there are a lot of different columns that you can include as part of your view, or you can remove the existing column. So maybe I don't want total expense or action date. All these columns are not required, but I do want to show him the edit button. So edit link to edit item. So maybe I want to show him that. And there are other things that you can do. For example, you can sort this column. So I can just sort it based on these fields. Then you can filter it out. Like basically I can filter it out by these columns. And then you can choose, like, I want to filter it on total expense. You can do those kind of filterings on your view. And then if I want to show some kind of totals, I want to group them by. So a lot of options over here. I can even create item limits, number of items that are displayed on a single page, whether you want to do pagination or so all those things can be done over here. So let me do this much of setting and I will say okay. So now if you see, this is a very clean view. Here I don't have those extra columns, but if I go into other view, which is all document view, I will see the other columns coming up over here. So that is what is called view. Now I told you about how do you edit a view, and next thing that you want to learn is how do you format the current view. So you can format you can choose the format as layout. For example, I can say alternating row style. So if I click on editing odd rows, so I can choose the color which I want. I can choose this one, and for even rows I want color this one. So I can then save it. So, and I can close it. So this is how the view will look like for all documents. But if I go to director view, nothing there. So that's how you create the view and how do you change the formattings of the view. Other thing that I want to show you is how do you change the ordering of the columns. For example, if I click on this item and I click on this I information button. If I click on this edit all, means to edit the properties of this particular item, you will see that action date comes first and then the total expense. And I don't like that. I want people to put the expense first and then the action date. So how do I go about changing that? So you just scroll down at the bottom, you can click on the edit column. You will see that either you can disable the column, that it will not even come up on the form for users to fill it up, or you can just hover on this and you can say move up. So I will say total expense has moved up, and then I will click on save. And if I go up over here and I say edit all, you see total expense comes up and then the action date. So you can change that. Another thing, these two things that I just showed you, the way I showed you was for the modern team sites or modern communication site. What about those classic sites? Okay, so maybe you have SharePoint 2013, 2016 classic sites. So how do you go about changing that? So you go into click on the gear icon. You will always have the gear icon, and then you click on the library settings. So you go on to the library settings, you will come to this interface, same across all the SharePoint versions. Now you go down at the bottom. In the bottom you will see that the views option will come up. Here you can go about creating a new view. So that is how you create a new view. You can choose a view type, standard, same thing that I was showing you there. There are view types, and then you choose a view type and then provides your property. So that's a view type. And how do you go about changing the column ordering? So there is an option called column ordering over here. So when you click on column ordering, this field will come up. Here you have to just choose which one comes up where, something like that. So easy. And that's how you change the column ordering, and that's all about views. So the next important feature in any collaboration tool is versioning, and versioning is important because it's a collaboration tool where many people are working on the same document, working on the same item, and there can be cases when somebody has updated the file in a wrong manner or some content has been wrongly updated. Then you definitely need to change that. And how do you know and how can you change that is you come to your document. For example, if I choose this document library.doc, you click on these three dots over here, go to this version history. Once you open this version history and overlay window opens up, you will see that there are 4 versions right now created. And to view an existing version for list items, it's a different way where you can directly drop down and click on view, but for the document library you need to click on this document directly. Once you click on the document, it will download the file and you can view the file and see the content are in order. Once you are sure that the content are in order, click on the drop down, click on the restore button, and this will show you a message that you are about to replace the current version with the selected version. Click on OK. Once you say OK, this will create a new version. See, this has created a new version 5.0, and then it has updated this as a latest file. Now the other point to note is that versioning settings can be enabled or disabled as well. So to check whether the versioning settings are enabled, or if you want to change some of the options in the versioning setting, you can go to the library settings, click on the gear icon, go to the library settings, click on the versioning settings, and you go to this settings page. Here you will see that by default it can keep up to 500 major versions of your particular file. So this number you can change. Then you can also click on the major and minor versions as well. So that's all about versioning. Another important feature, alerts. In a document library, you might have some very critical files which you want to get notified when anybody changes that file, or in the document library, because you are an administrator of the document library, you want to get a summary report at the end of the day, like how many people have changed a file or how many people have added a new file into your document library. Alerts can be created either for a single file or for the whole document library. So if you are creating alerts for the whole document library without selecting a file, just click on these three dots, go to alert me settings over here. You will see that the alert title will say specifically that you are applying the alert to the whole document library as such. Now you can provide alert to as the name of the people whom this alert will be sent to. They will be sent to their email address. So the next thing that you want to check is what is the change type on which you want to add the alert. Maybe any new item is added, or any existing items are modified, or items are deleted. So you can choose, like maybe I want any new item is added, you let me know the alert. Other option that you will see over here is send alert for these changes. So any new item is fine, but who has added the item, that also you can choose. So any item, any new item that is added by someone else, so or someone else changes a document created by me. So these are the options that you will choose on top of the existing change type. So it also then you can also send when to send alert. You can send a notification immediately, or you can send a daily summary, you can send a weekly summary. You can choose what point of day you want to send the weekly summary. My point is over here that don't choose alerts too lightly, because you will end up getting lot of emails and then you will feel that the importance of it becomes very less, because you end up getting lot of emails and you stop seeing them. So I would advise you to choose options which are more critical, like if items are deleted, or if anyone existing items are modified, so or if there is a file which is very important to you, maybe. So let's say, how do you do for that? So maybe this important is a very important file and I want to asset. So select a file and then go click on these three dots and set alert over here. So you will see the alert option over here, alert me. You will see that this file name will come over here. This means that the alert is getting applied to this document only. So this option you can change. Then you can send a daily summary, or you can send a weekly summary, or you can say you can send a notification immediately. So this alert is a very handy feature, but use it wisely so that you don't end up getting a lot of emails on your mailbox. Filtering, yet another useful option that helps you to sort out your documents that you have stored in your document library. Now in our case, for example, we have two metadatas like action date and total expense. So this will give you some better filtering capabilities. As much metadata you have, you can filter out those documents of yours based on those metadata. Now by default, when you create document library in the first place, by default some metadata is created for you, like your modified by, created by. These kind of metadata is all automatically created, so you can use that metadata. But on top of that, you can create your own custom metadata, like I did over here, action date and total expense. So if I go and show you here that I can filter it by this total expense column, I can choose 45 and 65, or I can remove them. And if I say, for example, I want to see only item 65, I can just say, and then it will show you that. So this is the filtering capability. And also this is item, this is on the column level filtering on the whole document library. There is also a filtering on the top of your document library. You will see this, open the filter pane. Once you open the filter pane, it will show you the different columns that you can filter on, like modified by, action, then there is a slider on the date part, awesome feature, and then there is a total expense column that you can filter on. So this is a total expense. So see, you can do the filtering, and as I slide this, you will see that the data will keep on changing based on the date. So these are the two ways you can do the filtering. Adding a template, this is another important feature, and this brings reusability into your SharePoint document library. Because if you have the same file, same kind of format, everyone wants to use the same format, then definitely it's better to add it as a template so that everyone can use the same template to insert the data for you inside this new drop down. So these are blank templates that you have been using without noticing that. So similarly, if you want to create your own template, like for example, this is an expense document library. Now if I want to add a template over here for expense reimbursement, I have a format for that. So this is the expense reimbursement form that I want all of my users to use. So to make sure that they use this format, what I can do is I can create a template of it and upload it. So whenever a new person wants to create a new item, new reimbursement to me, then they can just use this form for their purpose instead of creating their own custom form. So to do that, you can just go to new, create, click on add a template, and then upload the file that you want to use as a template. Now this is a temp file, click on open. Now this template file is getting uploaded, and it got uploaded so quick. Now if for example I as a Hemant wants to upload a new reimbursement, instead of creating my own, I will use this template that has been already created. Click on expense reimbursement. This will open the reimbursement form for you. Fill it up, like I will say okay Hemant, and then my ID is 3455, manager name is Rocky, and some expense on pen, and then category office supplies, this is the cost, and then I can save it with the name actually. So instead of just calling it as book, I will say Hemant expense. So this way, so this is the file that just got created. So this is an this way if somebody else come in and he can use the same reimbursement form, again it will open up an empty form for him. He can just name it as Vivek reimbursement. So he might have some other expenses, and he can just save it, and then we can just close it for now for the testing purpose. And when you refresh it, this one will change to Vivek expense. So now this is how easy it is to use these templates for your daily needs. Now another important thing, now if you see that this new button is getting lengthy and lengthy day by day, maybe you don't need these templates like OneNote. There is no need of providing a OneNote template or PowerPoint presentation template, because you feel that people will be uploading only Word and Excel document, or they will be using just your expense reimbursement. So if you have that kind of thing, you can edit this thing, means you can remove these templates that have been created. How do you do that? There is an edit new menu over here. So when you use this edit new menu, this will open an overlay window on the right hand side. So you can just click on here and you can remove whatever you don't want. I don't want visual drawing, I don't want forms for Excel, I don't want Excel survey, maybe I want Excel survey, maybe I don't want OneNote notebook. I can remove them from here. I can also go ahead and, so these are out of the box, so you can not delete them, you can just hide them for now, and you can move these items also on the top. Maybe this is expense reimbursement is very important, I want to bring it on to the top. I can do that, I can move them, I can order them. But for those things that you have created or owned like expense reimbursement, you can go ahead and delete them also, edit them also, change their content time. So this is the, you can change the whole look and feel of this menu structure, the new menu structure from here. So now if I save, you will see that this has less number of options coming up over here. So that is how you can edit this new menu option for your users. Next thing we are going to discuss is column formatting. Earlier we had a flavor of view formatting options. So we use this format current view option earlier, where we did the alternating row style. In the similar fashion, we have a column formatting option where you can format a specific column based on its value or based on data from some other column value. So this is the format column option. By default you will have conditional formatting for all the different columns types, but some column types will have its own flavor of formatting, which we will see right now. Before that, let me clear off this and bring it to default formatting. Now let us see for different column type what are the formatting options we have. Now if you are using a date time column, then if you go over here you will see that if you go under column setting, format this column, there is a specific format date column for this kind of column type. And if you go into edit style, you will see that there are three options that are provided. What if the date is before the current date or after the current date, or if it is a today's date. Based on that you will have different colors over here. Let's save it and you will see that the color will change for this kind of dates. Now the other column that we are going to look is the number column, and here if you go into format column option you will see the data bar option. Now data bar option means that there will be a bar on top of your data based on the minimum and maximum values. So if you are setting a range from 0 to 100, your bar will be created based on the value that is specified on that particular column. Now let me save it and that I will show you how it looks. So if you see right now, this is a 45 and this is 100. So 100 bar has gone till the last because the range was from 0 to 100. So it has gone till last. 45 is in the same range and 65 is later. So it gives you a gauge, a good idea. A person who looking into this document library will straight away get an idea of what he is seeing and how much. It's a good bar for percentage as well. So that is for number field. Now if you go to another type of column, which is your choice sky type of column, here under the background colors or choice fill option you will see the different choices that you have specified. You can specify different colors for the background, or you can create a pill. The one that you are seeing right now, if I change it from pill to background, the color will still remain the same, but the pill effect, the kind of effect for the pill will not be seen. But by default if you see that there is always a conditional formatting for all the different options that we are seeing. Some type of columns will not have their own flavor of column formatting, like if you go to modified by and you will see that there is no custom formatting for this item. If you go to modified, because this is a date time kind of a thing, then you will have a date for custom formatting option. Other than this, if you don't find the custom formatting that you want to achieve, there is something with greater power in these formatting option, which is called your own JSON custom formatting, which is advanced formatting. So you can go to column settings and format this column. If you don't like these formatting, you can go to an advanced mode and you can write your own JSON script over here to do the formatting. Now how do you write this JSON script? There is a good article by Microsoft. I will provide the link in the description. You can go and have a look. So in this article it details about how do you create a button. So they have provided the whole JSON over here. How do you create formatting for multi-value fields, and how do you create a custom card on hover, how do you display. This is a basic option. So you can just go ahead, look into this item. Items in the document library are created when you create a new document. What if the case is that you have a document which is present in some other document library, or it is present online on some other website, but you still want to have a reference of that document library or the document over here, but you don't want to copy the document, you just want to have the reference to that document over here because that document keeps on getting updated. For our case, I just told you that there is a Microsoft article, which is this article, and I want to give you the link to this article. What I can do is I can just copy this and I can create a new link. So that is the advantage of link. So even though that document is not present in the document library, I can create a link, which is this link, and I can give any name that I want. Column format link. So this is a format link, and when you create that, it will create this link over here on your document library without the actual document being present. Now if I click on this link, it will open that particular page where this link will point to. If this is a document, it will open the document. If it is URL, it will open the URL. So you can give any kind of a link over here. Another important feature is how do you pin a document. Now there are chances when you have lot of documents and you want to surface out a document which is like which can be like a help manual, or you want this document to be studied by all the people before they use your document library. So you want to give that document an importance, so you want to pin it at the top so it is easy to find for everyone. So this can easily be done. You can just need to select the document. Maybe this document is important, I will just pin the document to the top. Not only you can pin one document, but you can pin as many documents as you want. So I can pin a lot of documents. So I can pin, like I've pinned 2 documents right now, and I can even pin one more document. So I can just say pin to top. So now I have 3 documents pinned on my top. So if I have a lot of documents, people can straight away see these documents pinned up on my document library, and they can also even delete it if in the later point they don't want. So you can go to edit pin, and then you can just say unpin the document, or you can move it left. Maybe if you have a lot of document, you can just move this pinned document to the left or right or something like that. So that's the advantage of pinning a document. So the last thing that I'm going to discuss is I'm going to touch it from the surface only, because Power Automate is a very big topic to learn by itself. Power Automate basically helps you to do a lot of automations, which basically those tasks that are very difficult to do or which you have to do it manually. Like for example, in this case, if there is an action date and you want to be reminded when a particular date is received, like 2 days in advance, when this particular item is going to reach, then you can use Power Automate easily to set up the connection between this. Now for that, what you have to do is you go out to these 3 icon and then at the top, and then go to automate and set a reminder. So set a reminder, when you do, basically it will pick out the values where the date time field is used. Right now in our case it is action date where the date time field is used. If you click on action date, I will say continue, and then I will say what is the flow name. So I will say get an email reminder, or you can provide your own name of the flow. And when do you want to get the reminder? I say remind me in 2 days in advance, 3 days in advance, and then you just create this thing. So once you create that, the reminder flow has been created. There are a lot of different other flows that you can use. So basically if you click on these 3 go to Power Automate, you can create a flow. So once you go on create a flow, it will load up lot of templates for you. These are easy templates like send a customized email when a new file is added, request manager approval. So these are different kind of flows. You can create your own custom flow. That feature is also there, but it also provides you some flows. So there are a lot of different flows that you can use. And if you want to see what are the different flows that you have created, you can click on see your flows. It will log you in into the Power Automate. So if you see that I have just created a flow called get an email reminder, connecting it to Power Automate is a very amazing feature, and then it's a worth exploring. It will reduce lot of your tasks, that the mundane activities that you are doing. So that gives you a glimpse of Power Automate. So I hope you would have liked this video and you would have learned something new with this 15 different topics that I covered on document library, 15 different features, the most beneficial features that I could have think of. If I would have missed any feature that you want me to discuss, please write it in the comment section below, and do let us know how did you like the video, because your valuable comments and your valuable inputs help us to produce better videos in future. So do remember to like and subscribe our channel. Help me Coder. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy coding.